wave. You guys are on Facebook Live. That's over here. Thank you. You guys are on Facebook. Say hi. Hi. That is me.
Good evening and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2020. Class of 2020. I'm not that funny. Class of 2020. I know this is not what you expected. It's not what you expected when you were in kindergarten. A traditional graduation is what you wanted. But it's the memories that you've created. It's the memories that are going to last a lifetime with your friends and with your teachers. You have come upon an obstacle in your life at an early age, and you've overcome it. Distance learning wasn't easy. A lot of you haven't even taken an online class. And you were thrown into this distance learning, and you overcame it. So the next time you face that obstacle, you'll be able to overcome it. It may be tougher, but you know in 2020, you overcame an obstacle. And so you have one more lure in that tackle box to be able to throw out and catch that big fish. Class of 2020, I am proud of you. In fact, I really enjoyed hanging out with you since 7th grade. Most of you. That's because some of you came as seniors and some of you did give me gray hair. But in all sincerity, I wish you just one phenomenal future. And at this time, let's get going with our ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the class of 2020's salutatorian, the daughter of Dan and Deb Peterson, Miss Tessa Peterson.
Good evening, family, friends, staff, school administration, and community members who are here tonight in person, and also those listening and watching this ceremony from afar. But most importantly, welcome to my fellow classmates, Houston High School's class of 2020. Things for us have been uncertain and constantly changing the past few months. But one thing that has stayed constant is the incredible support we have received from all the people I just listed. If I had to choose one word to describe the class of 2020, it would be resilient. Someone who is resilient is able to recover from difficult situations quickly and face challenges knowing he or she can overcome them. The class of 2020 has faced many different challenges during our 13 years of school, not only as individuals, but as a whole as well. I am sure all of you know the biggest challenge we have faced together started just a few months ago. We are still facing it today as we sit 6 feet apart. Just a year ago, we were excited for the last day of school so we could officially call ourselves seniors. We were ready to experience the senior year that we watched the classes before us experience year after year. We had no idea our time together in the school building would be cut short, but it was, and we have embraced this challenge. We have learned many lessons from the challenges we have overcome. Our most recent challenge taught us that you should never take the things you enjoy for granted. I don't think we realized how much we actually enjoyed being at school with each other until we weren't even allowed to step foot in the building anymore. But there are a few things I didn't miss about being in the building, such as rushing from the cafeteria all the way to my locker on the other end of school and back to Mrs. Eideker's room before the bell rang, even though she would always give us a few extra seconds anyways. Another thing I didn't miss while I was doing school from home was the freezing cold classrooms. I could actually feel my fingers and toes the entire time I was doing my schoolwork. All of these tough times have made us better people and have helped shape the human beings we are today. Reflecting on the different challenges we have faced, I've realized my classmates sitting before me are incredibly resilient. We recover from difficult situations quickly and always make the best out of them. With this quality, I know the class of 2020 will be successful in whichever path they choose, whether it is going to a 4- or 2-year college, joining the military, or entering the workforce. We are sitting here today in our non-traditional graduation ceremony, missing out on some experiences the classes before us had, but looking around, we are content, just being here with each other, even if we are 6 feet apart. Today's ceremony may look different than years past, but the outcome is the same. Whether it is online or in person, we are here celebrating Houston High School's class of 2020. Thank you and welcome.
Hello, I'm Superintendent Kern Abraham, and it's my honor to speak to you graduates today. We have all heard the comments about this year's graduation and this year's graduating class. And I want to tell you, the graduates, that you are not the COVID class, you are not the quarantine class, and you are not the national riots class. Those are all unfortunately part of your story, but they are not the entirety of your time as a student. This graduation is probably not the graduation you had been planning since you were old enough to start thinking about your own graduation. Let's be honest, the best science fiction writer would not have been able to dream this up even a year ago. This too is just part of your story, but it is the part with the deeper message. It is productive and necessary to have goals and plans. But if this year has taught us anything, it is that it is also productive and necessary to know when goals and plans need to change, adapt, or be modified. There are few people here or listening tonight who know that I too have been looking forward to this graduation for a long time. In fact, since December 31st, 2001, when one of your fellow classmates was born. That night, as we talked about what the future had in store for this little girl, my nephew commented, "She won't graduate until 2020. Now, as impressed as I was that my nephew had actually correctly done the math, 2020 was also a year that stuck out for me, since I had done my own math near the beginning of my career as a teacher, when the rule of 90 applied to teachers in Minnesota. The rule of 90 meant that when a teacher's age added to her years of teaching experience equaled 90, she could retire. The rule of 90 sounded so old to me, but the rule of Tessa, now that sounded cool. From that New Year's Eve on, I jokingly said I was on the rule of Tessa. But as we have seen all too well this year, life has a funny way of happening and changing your plans. In 2001, I was not planning on becoming a superintendent. But as the years went by and life happened, I changed my plans because my goals got bigger. I saw what could be, and I needed to find a way to make that vision become a reality. That meant going back to school, not for my doctorate, as I had planned to do when I was done putting my daughters through college, but for administrative classes to get a new license I never thought I would want. My goal for getting my doctorate did not get discarded, just delayed a bit as life happened and plans adapted. I'm so glad that I changed my plans and added to my goals. It has made my life better, and I am more fulfilled than I could have imagined back in 2001. This is where that deeper message exists. This year has taught us that life throws curveballs. I say to you, adjust your stance and keep on swinging. Stay in that batter's box. Don't give up and go back to the dugout to sulk. I know there were some things that you didn't get this year, like spring sports and the band and choir trip, and that is a loss. But there were some things you did get that no one before you has, like Zoom meetings with Mr. Lundberg, or attending class in your own kitchen while eating Scooby snacks, which I might say are really loud if you don't mute your mic. Or tonight, having your graduation aired on Facebook and the radio, 104.1, before you parade through town as a class. Look around you. This is pretty darn amazing. And I would like to thank the Rotary Lights organization of La Crosse, Wisconsin for helping with the radio broadcast tonight. They do accept donations. And I would also like to thank Rick Rosted for helping with the sound system. But class of 2020, from your experiences this year, the stories you will be able to tell your future children and grandchildren will be so much better than the old, well, I had to walk to school up hills both ways stories. You also learned that sometimes when plans change, you get something better than you originally thought possible. As you make your plans now and devise your goals for your future, remember to be flexible. Allow yourself to do more than you thought was possible, to make the world a better place than it was yesterday, to become the person everyone else wants in their corner. The events of the past weeks call for you to do no less. Along your journey, remember to come back to Houston High School and share your accomplishments with those of us who are still here, and get the hugs you can't get tonight due to social distancing. And yes, when you come back, I will still be here. My goals have changed too. I'm now on the rule of Tessa plus some more. I haven't quite achieved all the things I wanted to when I took this job. Life happens. As your life happens, stay in that batter's box and make it a grand slam. This year has shown you that you can achieve anything you set your mind to in any situation. Houston High School class of 2020, congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce this year's valedictorian, the daughter of Ken and Marnie Schrock, Maddie Schrock.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I would like to start off my speech by thanking a few people on behalf of myself and the class of 2020. If you're not present, I hope our thanks is still able to reach you. I would like to thank everyone that has made this graduation ceremony possible, and thank anyone that has ever supported the senior class during this time. I would like to thank custodians who do so much for the school behind the scenes to keep it running smoothly. I would like to thank bus drivers who transport plenty of kids to school and support us at our sporting events. I would like to also thank my coaches for all the time they put in, and many of my teachers for the care they have for their students and their interest in my success. In particular, I would like to thank Mrs. Eidecker, who has pushed me to work harder than ever before and has helped me become an excellent writer. Mrs. Upton, thank you. You have had the biggest impact on my life. I appreciate everything that you have done for me as a coach, as a teacher, and as a friend. You've encouraged me to become a better person, and I can't thank you enough for that. Finally, I would like to thank my family. Violet, Mary, and Claire, you guys are insane. Enough said. Mom and Dad, if I stood up here and tried to list everything you guys have done for me, we would be here for days, and you guys don't want to listen to that, so I'll summarize. Mom, you are the most supportive person I have ever met, and thank you for pushing me to strive for success. Dad, thank you for all the Carol Baskin memes and understanding that I'm an introvert, something Mom wouldn't understand. Sorry for making you sit in the car with her. I hope you brought Kleenexes. I love you guys so much. So, graduation. It's great, but a lot of what people talk about is really positive, and if you know me, I'm not all about those flowers and daisies, not all the happy things like that. So, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I'm going to talk about the F word. The F word. You are hearing me correctly. It's the one we think of when we go to school, or we think of our future, and it covers plenty of other situations too. Turns out, the F word isn't what you're thinking, which is a shame, but the word is fear. As students, we've all dealt with our fair share. We fear academic failure, not fitting in with our peers, and we fear not living up to expectations. As graduating seniors and young adults, we get to fear new things, such as attending and paying for college, or even deciding on where we're going. We fear living entirely on our own and not knowing what we're doing. This time, all this stuff happening, hasn't really helped this feeling either. The past 4 years of our high school career have been relatively comfortable. We go to the same classes, with the same students, and the same teachers. They have the same expectations of us day in and day out. If we participate in sports or extracurriculars, everything we need to do is laid out right in front of us. But after today, the answers to our problems will not be laid out nicely, but instead, we will have to seek our own resolutions. Our next challenges will be bigger than achieving a certain grade or being liked by our peers. We'll be forced to overcome difficulties that we have never even considered before. It is this unknowing that produces our fear. For me, I am most scared when I think about my future. I'm scared I'll mess something up. No one is telling me that I have to go to UWL or that I need to major in biology. Not being told what to do is kind of scary. I constantly ask myself, what if I make the wrong choice? In school, a lot of my time I spent fearing my own failure. My success was not largely derived from my intelligence, but partly because I feared not meeting people's expectations. I fear that in college, I won't be able to find success because I'll think that if I'm not on the top of the class, does it matter as much? I'm scared that I'll struggle financially, and I'm not even sure if college is the right choice for me yet. I also fear that because of our current situation, my future college education could be in jeopardy. I struggle with online learning, so if classes were in that format, it would be almost impossible for me to complete my grades. I'm nervous for a lot of things, to cut that short. I hate the uneasiness that it all brings, but I do know one thing. It's okay to be scared. Every single one of us feels scared sometimes. A large part of our struggle with fear is thinking that we are facing it alone. No matter what our fear is, if we can take a step back, we can realize that there are countless other people who have been faced with the same difficulties as us. That's a good thing. Because while sometimes it's definitely overwhelming, we have people who we can come to, and they'll help us overcome our fears. So right now, evaluate where you are. What are you scared of? I'm serious, think about it. No matter what it is, just remember that fear, the F word, is something we don't actually have to be afraid of. Let us use our experiences, our knowledge, our fear, and strive to overcome what we couldn't before. Because we are going into the unknown, whether we like it or not. So the words I leave you with are, don't be afraid to be afraid. Thank you.
Superintendent Abraham, Chair Stillen, Clerk Carlson, I certify that these students of the class of 2020 have met the requirements to receive their Houston High School diploma. You can come all the way. Eric, you don't need to stand there. Get him up there. Yeah. Just standing back and just to get him. Jaden, come on. Jaden Mark Abraham. Keep going down. Take your mask off. And smile for a picture. Mitchell James Aiden. Jennifer Ruth Albright. Jasmine Marie Burr. Megan Hope Clay. Caden Ryan Danielson. Jarrett Allen Erickson. Alec George Francis. Joshua Daniel Getzloff. Gina Lee Hahn. Alexa Jean Johnson. That's you. Audrey Ann Kieselhorst. Elizabeth K. Larson. Tessa Deanne Peterson. Casey Joe Porter. Tristan James Quinn. Cade Wayne Roth. Madison Alexis Schick. Mikkel Gilman Shuddy. Jonathan James Smith. Madeline Ann Srock. Dustin Dale Stampka. Alex Carl Van Gundy. Devin Tyler Van Gundy. Benjamin John Walters. Wyatt Elman Walters. Haley Mae Wisty. Hannah Lynn Wisty. Class of 2020, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the class of 2020. Congratulations, you may throw your hats. And to give our farewell speech address, Mr. Mikkel Schutty, co-president of the Student Council.
Sorry, a little under the weather these days. Oh, I want to say hi, Mrs. Rogish. I missed you. Kind of low. No, it's fine. All right. Good evening, classmates, families, and all the fans of 104.1 FM. It's Lumber's fault. It's too low. Math teachers, I tell you. Good evening, classmates, families, and all the fans of 104.1. I would like to start off by thanking the administrators, faculty, the friends we've made, and of course, all of our families. You have given us endless support on everything we do, and for that we are grateful. As the co-president of the Student Council, I have the honor of giving the farewell speech for the class of 2020. Everyone always says that high school flies by. I would have to agree. I mean, we zoomed through the last months of our high school career. Yeah. Even if we didn't get to truly experience our full senior year, we still have made a lot of memories throughout the years, and there's a lot that we will miss. We will miss seeing the friends we grew up with every day. We will miss hanging with the teachers who basically just became our friends. We will miss going to the bathroom farthest away to waste as much time as possible. We will miss all the Friday night lights out by the slough. And most of all, we will miss just having fun with each other, not having a lot of responsibilities. The lessons and memories we have gained from this building will stick with us forever. Like during our sophomore year in English class, when we read the story of the Crucible. We learned that when we come together as a whole group, or in a group chat, we can accomplish anything. Well, almost anything. Right, Mrs. Eidecker? I apologize. Another great lesson we learned was when we went to Washington, D.C. during our junior year. Our tour guide, Amy, made us realize not one of us is a morning person. And she still couldn't figure out why we didn't like her. Hey, at least Dean, the bus driver, was pretty cool. The best memories we made came from sports. Not to brag or anything, but we were a pretty athletic group. We made it to 2 straight section championships in football. The dance team has made state twice in the last 3 years. The girls basketball team has won 3 conference championships in a row. Alec Francis placed 6th at the state wrestling meet. We won a conference championship in trap shooting, and if given the chance, I know our spring sport athletes would have excelled. We will never forget the times we had playing sports with our friends. We also never forget the uniqueness of the senior year we had. It was a tough time for a lot of us, but we had to find the positives in our situation. As Mr. Lumberg has said, we never had issues during the last months. We only had opportunities. We had to learn to adapt, and that is exactly what we did. Our lives have changed so much during this spring, and so has everything else. We took classes online for what seemed like forever. We had our senior award ceremony online, and some of us had to work during the day and had to miss Zoom calls with teachers when they were giving us instructions on the homework. And I speak for a lot of us when I say it was really easy just to put off homework for the next day and go watch some TikTok or something. So much of this is different and unexpected. Even our graduation ceremony isn't the same. We don't get to walk into the gym with hundreds of people watching or stand outside in a line while everyone congratulates us. But that isn't even the craziest part of our graduation ceremony. I mean, we just got our diplomas handed to us by a math teacher. But that's okay, as long as it's signed, right? Even though this is different, we can still cherish this moment and remember for the good parts, like how we get our own parade, and how we already had our first class reunion, which, not gonna lie, the best thing to come out of quarantine was definitely Tristan's mullet. We can and will make the most of our situation as we continue to have a fun summer and then go our separate ways. This is supposed to be a farewell speech, but I'll see you later, homies. Once a hurricane, always a hurricane.
Class of 2020, again, congratulations. But we're going to continue on with our ceremony with the parade. The staff members will help get you going, and we'll follow the police cars through town. And we'll start with Jaden's vehicle, so be ready to go. And I hope that all of your cars start if you've been listening to 104.1. Thank you again for attending.